What you don't see is the little guy behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah?
So my name is Roger Wiegand. This is the Diamond Jubilee Carousel organ. And we would both like to thank you very much for the opportunity to sit next to this beautiful lake today and play some music. It's been a great audience and just a wonderful place to spend a Saturday afternoon. So thanks. So let me tell you a little bit about the organ. Hello, puppy. So first of all, what is this thing? Well, this thing is a mechanically played pipe organ. It's an acoustic musical instrument. It entirely works by, and the dog doesn't like it so much. No worries. So it works entirely with pressurized air. That air, at this point in its life, is provided by a centrifugal blower. When it was new, it would have been provided with a set of leather-covered bellows run by an electric motor. So that's one of the questions I often get. This organ was electrically operated from its very first day. In England, where it spent most of its working life, or its first working life anyway, that electrical power would have been provided by a showman's engine, which is a steam traction engine that would have been used by the showman to haul the rides and the organs from town to town. Then when they got to the field where they were going to set up, they put a belt onto the generator on the organ and generate the electric power that was used to power the rides and the organs and the electric lights. And for many, many people in England and Europe, that would have been the first time they would see electric lights, for example. So quite the attraction. And those engines still exist in England and are lovingly cared for and are really beautiful and spectacular things. And if you get a chance to go there sometime to the Great Dorset Steam Fair, for example, I really recommend it. So anyway, this organ was built by a fellow named Anselmo Gavioli, who was an Italian family that migrated to Paris in the prior generation, and was part of a big organ building center in Paris where fairground organs like this were built. The other place that they were made were the German organs in Waldkirch, Germany, and again, you can still go to the organ festival every 3 years in Waldkirch and see some of the original factories where organs like this were produced. So this organ is quite complex in terms of its musical capabilities, and that's typical of the large European organs. You may well have seen American carousel band organs, if you will, carousel organs, that tend to be physically small and musically somewhat limited. One of the most popular American models only has 3 bass notes, for example. So if you try and play in more than about 2 different keys, you get into serious trouble pretty quickly. The Europeans were more interested in having organs that were capable of reproducing a more orchestral sound. So you get an organ like this where sorry, I don't have my prop with me. The book of the organ, the cardboard punched book, it's 89 keys wide, so about the same compass as a piano, but those keys do different things. So there's a section that's devoted to the bass notes, to an accompaniment, to a melody, to a counter melody, and to the piccolos. So each of those 5 sections can independently have a range of notes that can play music, and you of course can combine them in any combination. And in addition to that, there are register keys, and registers are exactly the same as the stops on a church pipe organ might be. So if you pull the stop out, you bring an additional rank of pipes onto play, so that you can, for example, on this organ, you can play the melody either on the violin pipes or on the flute pipes. And as a result, thank you very much. As a result, they sound quite different. Or you can play them in combination when you want to make it really loud, as if one needs to do that with this guy. So this is an example of the punched cardboard book that the organ played when it was new and still plays today. You can see that each vertical line there represents 1 key of the organ, which is coupled to a valve in the organ chest, and that plays a set of pipes. Almost in no case does it play just 1 pipe at a time, but the flute rank, for example, plays, I think, 4 different ranks of pipes for each note. So you're getting more bang for your buck than just a single note. You're getting a combination of notes, and some of the notes can be tuned, for example, in what they call quint, which is off by a 5th, so you get sort of automatic harmony as you play the note, for example. So they did a lot of clever tricks like that in arranging music for these organs. These organs, as I said, were used by showmen. They were working instruments designed to attract customers and make money. And if they weren't making money, they went to the trash heap pretty quickly, and that's what happened to most of them over time. There were thousands of these organs in existence in 1920 or so, and today the organs of this size, a couple hundred maybe in the world of various sorts, probably This was a popular model. There's probably 30 or 40 of these. There are 2 of them in the United States. And this is one of them. And this is the only one that travels. So I bought the organ in boxes and baskets in 2007. It's been an ongoing restoration project. Most of what you see here is original. The big central chest with all the pipes in it is all original, as are the 2 side chests that you see with pipes on them. We decided in restoring it, we don't know exactly what it looked like when it was new. So the earliest picture we have is up in the upper corner there of the organ in about 1922, which was 20-some years after it was made. And we don't know where it was for the first 25 years of its life, for sure. But at that point, it had already been cut down to a smaller size, or it may have been that size to begin with. We don't actually know. There are catalog pictures and photographs of other organs that were bigger. So I'm kind of a bigger is better guy, so they took the opportunity when we were rebuilding it to add back something that might have existed but didn't necessarily exist. And that is these 2 outside chests with the bell ringers on them are ones that I made, as well as the proscenium across the top of the organ. Often these organs often came with a top on them that was 10, 15 feet tall on top of the organ. They were huge. That was not practical to put in a trailer and drive around with, so we made something that was more modest but in keeping. So just in truth in advertising, the original organ are these middle 3 sections. The 2 outside sections and the piece on top are pieces that I made based on catalog pictures and trying to be sympathetic to the original. Anybody have questions they want to ask me? That's probably the best. Yes? The other organ in the U.S. is in a collection owned now by the Felipe Foundation in Chicago, outside of Chicago. Jasper Sanfilippo was a fabulous collector. He has probably 30 organs of this size in a big building on his property, as well as a 55,000 square foot house filled with mechanical music machines of every imaginable sort. If you go to Chicago and find a way to visit, it's not generally open to the public, but they do a lot of charity events, and it's not hard to get invited to some kind of event. It is just fabulous. It also includes probably the 2nd largest theater organ in the world in a room the size of a big theater. Yeah, no, none of the book music that I have with the organ is actually a physical original. These are all copies. Books, this one in particular is one, it's labeled National Anthem. It's God Save the Queen, because it's English. But this one is one of the ones that was cut from these books are cut from stencils. So when you arrange the music, it's marked out on paper. Then somebody hand cuts a stencil. Then you take the stencil and lay it down on the cardboard book stock, ink it, and then take it to a foot-driven punch where you punch the holes in the music. So that's the process. That's exactly the process by which this book was made, from a stencil that dates from 1900 or so. So this is as close as you're going to get to the actual thing, but this is not the actual. This is a new copy of that.
So how long did you play that book continuously? How long would that book run?
This book is about 3 minutes of music. If you want to buy it, it costs you about 400 and some bucks, which is part of the reason why the organ now has a computer MIDI system in it. It also is, it's hefty. It weighs a lot. So the set of books that I have for the organ, I have 50 of them or so. Some of them much bigger than this, but they weigh about a ton. That's about all the weight I can put in this trailer. So I've got another 150 or so tunes which live on an iPhone, and they're what's been playing the organ for you most of the day today. Although I did play some books earlier in the morning, and I'm happy to put one on after we finish here, so you can see what it looks like when it's playing on a book.